I'm going to record the information here about your group project, and this will give you some insight, okay? So you're going to use a problem-solving method, the I decide and the SMART, I decide and SMART. We went through the I decide, and I'll go over SMART again just to make sure you guys remember that. And then you're going to go, I'm going to divide you up into groups with one of these topics: listening, perception, conflict, relationship dynamics, dialectical tensions, or groups. And that will be the topic and the problem solving method that you need to use, or the topic for that method you need to use. You're going to create an activity, and it has to be something that's group oriented. Everyone in the class needs to be able to participate, not one or two people. Even if people have to do individual work, if we have to put them in breakout rooms, you can decide that, but we need to be able to make sure everybody is doing something so people aren't sitting there bored or not engaged. And this should take no more than 30 minutes to do. I mean, maybe if you play a second round, it could take longer, but certainly getting through the first round shouldn't take us any longer than 30 minutes to complete. Your game should have instructions: how to play the game, what do you do, how it needs to be done, what is the goal of the game, what are the objectives, what do you want us to walk away with, okay? If there are pieces, you have to make them. Now that, of course, really pretty much applied to us when we were in person. However, the same is true here, in as much as if it's a game, you have to provide me with the PowerPoint, if that's what this is, like the Jeopardy game, or maybe the paper that you're going to use so that I can make sure that it's passed out to everyone. Or maybe there are certain pieces that people need to have, and you'll want to make sure that you give that information to me again so that I can get it to everybody that it needs to be given to. Detailed instructions, like any game, like any activity, you need to have detailed instructions. You will not be able to explain your instructions. You will read the instructions, but not explain them. That's why they need to be good enough. That's why we did, the gender questions and the open-ended questions, to make sure that you guys know how to write information so that it's clear to people and you don't have to go back and try to explain it, because what if they wanted to play this and you're not around? Okay? You're going to do a group paper, and everybody in the group gets the same grade for the paper. Everybody gets the same grade for the product, and everybody has to present, and I'll explain that in a moment. You get your own grade for presenting and your own grade for the peer review that will happen. The people in your group will be able to grade you. I will average those grades, and that will become your peer grade. There are times when people don't do much work and one or two people do all the work, and then this is an opportunity for you to say, you know what, so-and-so did nothing, or this person did everything, and we want to make sure they get a great grade. So your paper is to include each of the problem-solving steps, okay? From I decide and SMART, and I'll show you an example of that in a moment. You're going to present the project. Just like I said, everybody in your group has to participate. Somebody may read the instructions. Somebody may tell us other things that you need to do. You guys will figure that out. And what has to happen is you're going to tell us the topic. So maybe it's listening. You're going to identify the problem, which means you're going to read it just like you wrote it on your paper, and include the citation. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. And then you'll define the goal. So maybe each person can do a separate thing. Somebody else can read the directions, and then we are going to play your game. Or the activity, whichever one it is. Keep in mind that the activity that you do can either teach us how to do something, or it can be an assessment to see how much we've learned. Like the Jeopardy game we just played, that's really a game for after we've learned about listening, and for us to go back and see, what do we really know about it? You're going to have empirical research, and that is only in the bibliography, but your bibliography, there's only one place for it to go, and that's in your paper, and I will show you that in a moment. You have to email all of your information to me through Canvas, the parts of your game, whatever you have, And then I will tell you, once you tell me what kind of game you're doing, I will tell you the acceptable files that you will give me for that. Again, there's going to be a peer evaluation, and this is going to be due by November 15th, you guys, just before midnight, November 15th. And that Tuesday we'll start to play the games. Thursday we'll finish up playing the games. Okay. I will upload this paper to the project assignment, and then you can make sure that you write down the area that you are supposed to be a part of. You can write down your members' names. You don't have to worry about their numbers so much, but you might want to number them because your paper, once you put everybody's name on the paper, it needs to be done alphabetically. So then that maybe you'll write 1, 2, 3, or 4, so that you know whose name goes first and that kind of thing. Get their email and get their phone number so you guys can connect with each other, because everything will not be done here in class. You'll need some outside time to get things done as well. Here is the grading sheet for the peer review. Normally it is something that I give students and they give it back to me, we're face to face. That's different now. So you can, when you use this or print it, however you want to use it, you can include this information, but it is something that you will upload to me. And I am the only one that sees it. I will be the only one that, and so it's not divulged to anybody. And then I will grade those individually and then group them and then average them so that that person gets a grade. You will use whole numbers. It says here to do everybody alphabetically by last name. You'll still want to do that on your sheet. So if John Doe was first, you'll say their name, the points you want to give them, and why you think that they should earn these points. Your points should be whole numbers. No half numbers, no quarter numbers, none of that. Your points 0 through 100. And you have to, again, explain why they should get them. Each person's grade must be different. You may not give everyone 100. I've never been in a group where everybody does the same equal amount of work. No. And too often people do that and just whitewash an evaluation, like, oh, I'll just give everybody 100. Then they don't have to do any work. I want you guys to think about, what did a person really do and what grade they should really, really have. And then you will put it here, write it down, and then I will get it. Okay. For this group, for this product, and I think your paper, here's something that has changed. Your syllabus says your group project is worth 400 points. I am changing it to 500 points. I am changing it to 500 points, just as you see here. The product or the activity itself will be worth 200, your paper 100, your presentation worth 100, and then the peer review in terms of what your group people give you is worth 100. That's 500 points. How will that change your syllabus? It means that where you see that there are 2 class critiques, a final class critique for 200, that will be worth 100 instead. Okay, that will be worth 100 instead. So it does not change the numbers in the syllabus at all. All right, are there any questions about what I've shown you so far? I am going to go over a paper here in a moment so that you can see that. But anything else that I've given you so far? Are there questions about it? Does everybody understand? If you do, let me hear a few people say, yes, I understand. Say something.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, thank you. All right. The rest of you type in the chat, yes, you understand. I want proof that you guys saying you understand this, so you're not coming back saying a whole lot of stuff later on. Everybody's getting this? Okay, good. Super. All right, then let me share the screen and show you what a paper looks like. Let me find one. I think this is it. Okay, good. Can you all see this? Somebody say yes, I can't see you.
Yes, we could
Yes.
do that.
Okay, super, thank you. So again, you would put the names alphabetically. You don't have to worry about numbers. In class, they had numbers and they did numbers because it was easy for me to put things in alphabetical order. You don't have to worry about numbers, just please put them in alphabetical order. You will put down what this is. It's your group project, and whatever you have, conflict or listening, whatever, the possible points, it's your COM 100, and you can put your, instead of my name, you can put your class number as it shows up in your syllabus, the way to do it, and then the due date for this, which would be November 15th. You're going to take the I decide, and you're going to write each of those down, and then information falls under each of them. So identify the problem is first. You're going to identify the problem. Here's the problem in terms of conflict that we came up with. Men and women manage conflict differently, which leads to miscommunication and unhealthy relationships. You have to tell us what the result is, what the problem is, what's causing the problem, or what makes something the problem. You can't just say that we manage conflict differently. Okay, so because we do that, then what happens? When you tell us that, that helps us understand what the problem is so that we can address it. Here is where your research goes, that empirical evidence I would like for you to have. The bibliography that we were talking about, this is where it goes. There is no separate bibliography page. It goes right here. Identify the problem, you did that. Now you have to get something to support it. And it says, according to a study done at the University of Michigan, they found that, and then quote, men and women divorce 45% of the time because they do not know how to manage conflict. Then give us a in-text citation, Johnson, comma, 2017. Now you can write the little bibliography. It was Johnson C. 2017. Why can't we get along? There was a name, and then finish writing the rest of this. I guess I need to say that. Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about what I just showed you? So you get identify the problem. Okay, I'll move on. Next, define the goal. So you're going to just take each of these and do from the I decide. The end goal is for you to create a game or activity. And of course, it has to deal with whichever area you're in. So this one says, how do we create a game or activity that teaches the 5 conflict management styles by Wednesday, June 28th? Okay, so all of that's different. We're going to make this November 15, 2020. So what we've discerned, what we talked about is, and your goal comes from the problem. Because we manage conflict differently, maybe it's because we don't understand the management styles, which is why we say, hey, if they understood them, maybe they would do things differently. So that's where we get this goal, and that's all there is. And then you're going to examine. And then what I want you guys to do is to have your own brainstorm. Each person needs to do their brainstorm, and they can type out different things, or they can write different things. And yeah, just type this up, I guess, which is not the norm to type up brainstorm. You usually do it, and it's pretty messy. And then you'll just make that part of your document and make this the examine part. And it goes behind your paper. You'll come up with your criteria. What criteria do you need to make this, to make sure that this will work? And then answer those questions. You can number them so that they're there. We have criteria, and then consider the alternatives. Well, maybe we could do a Monopoly game, bingo, Jeopardy. I don't know. Whoops. Maybe there's a scavenger hunt you could do. And so you have to consider the alternatives. Then we initiate a decision. What did we decide we're going to do? Our group decided by majority vote to create a bingo game to teach the conflict management styles. We chose this because, and then explain why you chose it. Bingo cards can be made easily with templates online. The cost is minimal. Everyone can have assigned tasks without overloading one person. Whatever else goes there, that's what you would share. Okay, any questions to this point? So for instance, let me go back up here to the criteria. What are some of the criteria that you'd have to make sure is here? Somebody. I'd like to hear somebody. What do you think a criteria would have to be for this project? Brianna, what might a criteria be? Hello?
I don't know.
Okay. Somebody else, anybody have an idea? Try, please. You need to know that you know how to do this. If you tell me you know how to do this and then you really don't, it's not going to help you. Okay. Initiate a decision. We went through that. Then you go to develop the plan. 2 parts to developing the plan, the product and the process. The product is what you're going to do to make it happen. We need to get different questions that we're going to ask or different scenarios. What is the product made out of? You have to have the instructions. All of that goes under develop the plan. Your instructions, what the game is. This is a long part of the paper, if you will. As you can see, the rest of this has been pretty short. But now you're getting into something where it's longer. This is long. So you have product and then process. When are we going to meet? Who does what and when? And then you go to the last part, which is evaluate. And you have to evaluate the product and the process. Play your game, play your activity, do it so that you can see what works and what doesn't. Read the instructions aloud so that you can hear them and say, wow, that's not really clear. We need to reword some things or add this or take this out and figure that out. That's what the paper is. Okay. Anybody have questions about the paper? Does it make sense? But none of you know what criteria is. Take a look at your books. You guys have your books. And then go to, I don't even know what chapter it's in now. Maybe managing groups. Or look in the back of your book where it says criteria and look up criteria in the index so that you can see it. Is your book online, Christian? Okay. Needham, do you have your book? Hello, Needham. I need to see you too. Is there a reason you aren't showing yourself? Okay. Anything else, you guys? You finding it? Did you see it? Do you see it, Kate?
So I looked it up on my book and it's online, but it doesn't, all it says is criteria are standards or measures that provide the blueprint of how a group will evaluate the virtues and each alternative solution.
Okay, good. That's what it does. That's what it does. And then if you guys need additional assistance, I guess you can go to the internet or something, because are you guys saying that you know how to do it? Because when I ask you, you have questions, you don't say anything. So you get it? You understand it, Kento?
Not really.
Okay, so
I feel
then
like
say
in that-
something.
Sorry.
Joss,
No, I was like thinking about it.
Jocelyn, do you understand it? Okay, good. Brianna, do you understand it? Hipasi, you understand it? Christian. Okay, good. Needham, where are you? All right, then if you guys understand it, then I'm not going to worry with it. I will end up putting you guys in the groups. That's what this project, this whole project looks like. And I think, can you all pull up your, well, I'm just going to ask you one more time. Do you have any questions about how this project should be done? Do you understand how to write to identify the problem, how to write the goal? You understand all of that? Now's the time to ask me if you have any questions. Okay. All right, then I will put this information up online. I am going to let you guys go so you can work on the things to get ready for Thursday, because that's when your speeches will start. Your speeches will start on Thursday, okay? And if at all possible, use Loom. If not, we will use your PowerPoint and you show up here and we will do what we do and we'll make it all happen, okay? Any other questions, comments? You guys good? Then I'll see ya. Bye.